Hello, friends. How are you doing? I want to make a small chit chat with you today because I have been getting some emails about the exam, its layout, and everything. So, what I want to inform you today that um, first of all, when the exam would be organized, um, approximately 24 hours ago, I would be sharing the exam questions with you so that you can prepare them, as an assignment. So if I don't use the word exam, if I use the word that I would be disclosing the assignments about 24 hours before you need to submit them through the Moodle. And Moodle would be the only platform which you can use to submit. I will not accept through the emails. Regarding the exams, there'll be two types of questions or two types of assignments. The first category of assignments would be the descriptive questions. Now, the descriptive questions could be something about some topical thing, and those topics are basically that we shall study in the lecture slides, or we have been studying in the lecture slides. But those topical questions would be in the context of some research articles. For the first article, I didn't recommend you any research article, but for the second, which we are now doing, the cost of capital and the capital structure, I have recommended you a few research articles. And as we would proceed, I would be sharing with you more and more articles. So the descriptive questions has to be answered in the context of the article. Okay, and the name of the article which I would be asking you to write in the context of, I would be disclosing it. So I think I gave you this example also that, for example, if I ask you that write a note on capital structure or what factors are affecting the capital structure, right in the context of Hundal et al., for example, my article, something like that. So in that context, I would be expecting that the answer would be, inspired, not word by word, but answer should be largely inspired by the article which I have recommended. Now, the second part of the exam would be the calculation-based tasks. And those tasks are in red in the slides. So I think I have discussed with you about 3 to 4 tasks already. If not, I would discuss more, yeah. And they're labeled task 1, task 2, task 3, and they are in the red. That is the biggest identification. So if I ask you any calculation-based assignment which you are supposed to do, that would be largely inspired by those tasks. My assessment is that by the end of the course, we shall be done. We should have done about 7, 8, 9 tasks. So I can ask you, for example, that calculate return and risk of your chosen company and also decompose the risk, okay? It means that the company that you have chosen as your case company, you would be doing the calculations, you'll be calculating the return, risk, then you'll be splitting the risk into systematic and unsystematic and so on and so forth. So those tasks are quite much in detailed explained in the slides itself. So those task 1, task 2, task 3, task 7, 8, I don't know how many we do by the end of this course. That can serve as a template for you to do the calculation part of the exam. And then I also mentioned before that calculations accuracy is not the only thing I would be looking at. I would be going beyond calculation, and I will be including what I call as a interpretation. So how you explain those calculated numbers into sentences. That, for me, that's the interpretation. And then the inferences, how that calculation, how the message you derive from those calculation in the form of interpretation can have an impact on the company's future or investors' futures, whosoever is concerned. So for me, the implication is more futuristic. So there is a calculation, then you interpret it in your own words, what those calculations mean, okay? And then you are making an interpretation that how that number could lead to the future, situation. I think I gave you an example that if you are calculating beta at 2 points, and you find that your systematic risk has increased over time. So you can say that the beta in period 1 was 0.56, the beta in period 2 is 0.75. This is a calculation. And then you write it down that the beta, which is a measure of systematic risk, has increased in period 2 than period 1. And what is the implication? The implication is that the company's systematic risk has increased tremendously. The risk which is coming from the market is going really. So what the company should do now? Well, I think the company should do a proper risk management policy. And how do you know it's a risk management policy? This thing is mentioned in the slides. So you have to make some kind of connection between the slides, the calculations, and same way when it comes to the descriptive thing, you need to make some kind of connection between the slides and the research articles. So that is what I think. That is what I mean by that, how you should be writing your answers. If you're writing them just open-endedly, I don't think that will serve any purpose, okay? If it was a written examination, when you sit for 3 hours and do the exam, perhaps I would not have put this condition. Now, because you're doing it, it's like a self-exam, you're doing at home, okay? So you have 24 hours to do them. So if you're just reproducing the text, if I ask you what is leverage and everybody's writing almost same sentences, there's no creativity. So then I don't think it's a fair assessment, okay? And it's not fair to you, actually. So that is why I want that to let you write your questions in the context of some articles, and you can relate, you can position your information in some context. So that is the whole purpose, okay? All right, so today is Sunday, so have a nice remaining leftover weekend and see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.